The rumor originated on Cleveland's own sports radio network, 92 The Fan, which immediately gave it credibility beyond typical online speculation. This wasn't some anonymous Reddit thread or fan-made trade simulator. These were local insiders, people who have actual connections inside the Browns organization, openly debating the possibility of parting ways with their supposed franchise savior before he's even taken a regular season snap. The proposed trade, as wild as it sounds, would send Shedeur Sanders to New York while the Browns would acquire Garrett Wilson and possibly a draft pick or two in return. It's a move that would shake up both franchises, and maybe the entire NFL, if it ever came close to reality. From the Jets' perspective, it's not entirely crazy. They're staring down the final stretch of Aaron Rodgers' career, and the team's lack of a succession plan has already burned them before. Adding Shedeur, a young quarterback with immense upside, pedigree, and poise, could be the long-term solution they've been chasing for decades. Imagine it, Rodgers mentoring Deion Sanders' son under the bright lights of New York, with the entire sports world watching every throw, every headline, every social media post. The hype would be unprecedented. The marketing potential alone could justify the move for a franchise that's been struggling to stay relevant. But for Cleveland, this rumor represents something much deeper, something that's become all too familiar for Browns fans: organizational dysfunction. The idea that they would even entertain the notion of trading away the player they just drafted second overall, the supposed cornerstone of their rebuild, reeks of panic and short-term thinking. You don't spend that kind of draft capital, that kind of franchise equity, only to walk away before the ink on his rookie contract even dries. Yet somehow, here we are, with trade scenarios being seriously discussed on local sports radio. It's almost poetic in how on-brand it is for the Browns, a franchise that has built a reputation for snatching defeat from the jaws of competence. Now, the logic behind the trade from Cleveland's side revolves around one player: Garrett Wilson. He's a proven star, a former Ohio State standout who would instantly become the Browns' best receiver in years. Wilson's production since entering the league has been stellar. Elite route running, reliable hands, explosive playmaking, all the traits teams dream of in a top receiver. For a franchise trying to win now, especially one that's struggled to find consistent offensive firepower, the appeal is obvious. But football isn't just about adding talent. It's about understanding positional value. And in the NFL, no position carries more weight, more importance, than quarterback. Trading potential franchise stability for a wide receiver, even one as good as Wilson, is the kind of decision that sets franchises back for decades. The other layer to all this is the Browns' baffling handling of Shedeur's development. Reports have made it clear that he hasn't been getting first-team reps, something virtually unheard of for a top draft pick, especially one chosen as high as second overall. Head coach Kevin Stefanski and offensive coordinator Tommy Rees have both gone on record confirming this, defending the decision as part of a developmental plan. But the optics are terrible. It sends the message that they're not fully committed to Shedeur, that they're hesitant, unsure, maybe even regretting their decision. And that's how trade rumors gain traction. When a team fails to publicly back their young quarterback, the rest of the league starts sniffing around for an opportunity. This situation is spiraling because the Browns are giving it oxygen. The narrative has shifted dramatically, from excitement over Shedeur's potential to confusion about his future. One look at the headlines tells the story: why isn't Shedeur Sanders getting reps? Is Cleveland already moving on? Jets linked to trade talks for Browns rookie QB. Each headline chips away at the confidence of fans and the player himself. And when an organization mishandles a rookie quarterback's development like this, it rarely ends well. We've seen it before: young, talented passers thrown into unstable situations, benched too soon, traded too early, their careers derailed before they even begin. What's worse, the timing couldn't be more critical. The NFL trade deadline is approaching fast, and if the Browns truly are entertaining the idea, they'd have to act soon. Executing a blockbuster deal like this isn't something you pull off overnight. It requires weeks of calls, evaluations, and negotiations. So if something's really brewing behind the scenes, expect more leaks and insider whispers in the coming days. But let's be honest, if Cleveland actually pulls the trigger on this, it would be catastrophic for their credibility. You can't draft a player second overall, sell him as the future, plaster his face on billboards, and then ship him off before he's even played a single game. That's not just bad management, it's franchise malpractice. Still, if we're playing devil's advocate, maybe this trade would be a blessing in disguise for Shedeur. Maybe escaping Cleveland's chaos and landing in New York could save his career. Imagine him sitting behind Rodgers for a year or two, learning from one of the greatest to ever do it, before taking over a team loaded with weapons and media attention. That's a situation most young quarterbacks would dream of. Meanwhile, Cleveland would be right back where they always are, searching for another quarterback, rebuilding again, explaining another mistake to an exhausted fan base. It's the same cycle on repeat, one that's defined the Browns for decades. What this entire saga really exposes is the broken state of quarterback development across the NFL. How have we reached a point where a player can go from franchise savior to trade rumor in less than a season? How have teams become so impatient, so desperate for instant success, that they're willing to abandon multi-year plans before they even start? The Browns might be the latest example, but they're hardly alone. Dozens of young quarterbacks over the past decade have suffered similar fates. Drafted into dysfunction, deprived of proper development, and blamed for failures that weren't their own. Shedeur Sanders deserves better than this. He deserves a real opportunity to show what he can do, not endless speculation about where he might end up next. Whether he stays in Cleveland or eventually moves on, his potential shouldn't be buried under poor communication and organizational confusion. And yet, that's exactly what's happening. The Browns front office seems more interested in saving face than in actually building around their young star. They're sending mixed messages, alienating fans, and creating the kind of instability that ruins promising careers. So here's where things stand. The trade rumors are heating up, the deadline is creeping closer, and Shedeur Sanders' future is hanging in the balance. Will Cleveland hold firm and finally give their young quarterback a chance? Or will they make another